Hello, and welcome to the Great Outdoors. This week has been kind of a little bit confusing week. We're trying to get the videos up for the ATV SXS ride in Geneva State Forest. And we had a heck of a time trying to get them to upload to YouTube. And we use YouTube simply because it's a vessel and it's just easy to take that number and paste it on the Facebook and to paste it into the web page. It's the only vessel that our website can use to upload videos is YouTube itself. So we have to upload it, we have to render it, and 2 hours of video, high definition. I used the AVCHD format. It takes, I think it took 18 hours to do 2 hours in high definition. And that was just to render. The next step would be the upload to YouTube, and that took 36 hours the first time, and it quit at 41%. And you'd think that's frustrating. I tried 3 more times and it would do the same thing. The 4th time it got to 86%, and by then it was Wednesday and the frustration levels were just abounding from within. And I said, we've got to get this taken care of. And we went back into the editing program and reformatted the footage, and we just made it DV, which is digital video, which is 720 by 480. Right?
Standard definition.
And it made that same video 3 gigabytes, not 22. So we were successful in uploading it in 2 segments. I hope that you liked it. I didn't do a whole lot of cutting on it. I mean, we had 7 or 8 hours worth of video, and we've narrowed it down to 2. But I wanted to make sure that I didn't cut anybody out, and I wanted to make sure that the actual trail was visible where we were riding. So for future rides, people can see, hey, this is going to be a cool place to ride, not just the roads. So that's why the videos like that. And the other night, which was right after I got the videos done, we sat down and we did the quick little humorous thing with Hoot Owl, and how we were going to tell his life story. Well, I was so busy this week that I didn't check on Hoot, and Hoot passed away on Monday. I just happened to look at the video that I had shot back there when Hoot was alive, and Mrs. Morris was 100% right. If you ever look at an owl's eyes, you can see that their pupils are wide open, and poor Hoot, his eyes were pinpointed. The pupils were so restricted that and you can see how the eyes started to push out of his head. And they believe that he died of a brain hemorrhage. See, the thing about raptors is they get so fixated on their target when they're hunting. I mean, that's their meal for the day. And Hoot saw the meal, and he took after it. And when they fixate, target fixation is like when they get their eye on that target, they don't pay any attention to anything else around them. And he just kept flying. He flew right into a car, and of course, head first. And his eye swelled shut, and the other eye looked like it was okay. It was a little bit of runny, but you never can tell. CAT scans and brain scans and things for animals, especially in a wildlife sanctuary setting, x-rays and so forth are expensive enough to have to go in and do brain scans and things like that. I mean, there has to be some kind of a limit. You're not going to do a brain operation and take this poor bird's brain out to try to save his life. That there's kind of a limit there. So, Hoot did pass. We're going to have a little bit of a memorial in this video. We lose a lot of animals in the rehabilitation section of Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary. Not all animals, we don't even know what's wrong with some of them. Some of them are too far gone by the time that they're rescued. You know, birds and so forth, if they have the ability to fly, will also go up high for protection. If they're on the ground, they have got no protection. So if they're really sick or really injured and they're stuck on the ground, they're in bad shape, and it doesn't take long for a bird. Let's take that little eagle, for instance. We had no idea how long he was on the ground, but he was so emaciated that his blood vessels and everything were just collapsed, and he didn't make it either. It's kind of heartbreaking in this business of trying to save wildlife, or any. I mean, you know how doctors and nurses feel in hospitals when they do everything they can for a patient and the patient doesn't make it. So I just wanted to say thank you to Hoot for the short time that he was with us. We hope that he was comforted in some small way, and you know, to let you know that not to give up on wildlife. You know, if you can save 1 out of 5 or whatever, that's one more that's out there where it's supposed to be. And the success rates are a lot higher than 1 out of 5. That's for sure. I mean, it does your heart good to see them when they take off and fly out to be on their own. They kind of look back and say thank you, and it just makes your heart pump. It sure does. And we're going to show you some more animals that came into the Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary this week. We've got a 14-year-old raccoon named Rocky, who's blind, probably deaf. He had his ears chewed off probably in fights, and he's just happy to be in a safe environment where he can get 3 square meals a day, and he sleeps and he relaxes, and he's happy. We have a vulture over there now that somehow lost the tip of his wing, and he can't fly, can't get a whole lot of altitude, and he's going to be there. And vultures are well, only a mother can love. I mean, yeah, that's, you know, I guess I can relate to that. But anyway, we got more raccoons. There's 10 raccoons. And Buckwheat, he's cute as can be, spoiled rotten. We're going to show you how a skunk has a temper tantrum when you have to try to cut her nails and put a collar on her. Poor Flower, she was fit to be tied, and I mean physically. And we're going to just show you everything that took place here this last weekend at Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary. So stick with us, and I want to thank you all for hanging in there with me, and enjoy this video, and we'll see you the next time here in the great outdoors. Thank you. This is a new arrival. This is a very, very old raccoon. The poor guy, he's blind. There's a good chance that he's deaf. He's been fighting in so much for so long that his ears have been chewed off. But he's resting comfortably. He gets 3 square meals a day here at the Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary, and he'll be here for the rest of his natural life. But he's a new raccoon. He's a new old raccoon, actually. And he's just happy to be here. There are baby opossums. And that sack is kind of a replication of Mama's pouch. And when it's time to eat, they pop the little heads up, and Mel was just there and took them to feed them. And there's probably still a few down in there. But they're new. And this is our boy Lucky. We've known Lucky since we first showed up here. He'd been here, he had no feathers, he couldn't fly, he couldn't do anything. And the feathers now are starting to come back. He can get that high, that's pretty good for him. And you can't see him real well because he's backlit. But that's our Lucky. He had a car accident. He's lucky to be alive. Hopefully, soon he'll be free and hanging out with the other hawks. Is Bullet. You know Bullet. Bullet was the first hawk that was shot down in the Dothan area. And he is doing quite well, according to John. And it won't be long till he's free. He will not be released back where he was found, so that no one takes another shot at him. Now that is Bullet. This is another newcomer. He's not really crazy about me being in here, but he'll calm down. Hey, Birdie, you're okay. We're not gonna hurt you. We're not gonna hurt you. Pretty bird. We're not gonna hurt you. We love birdies. Yeah. Come on. Looks like a baby hawk, but he's not. Carry it to him. Tell me what kind of bird it is. He also had an accident. Cars seems to be the #1 enemy for birds, especially birds of prey, because they get fixated on their target because that's their meal for the day, and they see nothing else, and they'll fly straight ahead and run into a car. Handsome bird. Very, very pretty. Very pretty bird. Yeah. You're pretty. You're a pretty bird. There's old Bullet. There's Bullet. He's sleeping. He's sleeping. This is the one-winged hawk. I call him Wounded Bird because that's just an official Indian name. But they call him Grizzly because he makes a sound. And that sound is like a growling of a bear. And at first they thought it might be an anxiety sound where something that he's going to attack or whatever. But I think it's a call for help because he doesn't know why he can't fly. He doesn't understand that. You know, all his life until a certain point, he was a flyer. He was able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. But now he's land-bound with only one wing. And it has to be very confusing and frustrating for a bird of prey, a beautiful big bird of prey like this guy. And it's hard to understand why someone would do what they've done to this beautiful bird. But that's human nature, I guess. And he will get his. Whoever did this to this poor bird will get his. I think the world to this guy. He is taking on a such a good bird. He's getting so big. He's getting so big, son. Miss Terry been spending time with you? I know, she said, she told me. And you're being a good bird, and that's good. Such a good boy. Such a good boy. God bless you. Love you. Love you, good boy. Anything you need? You got water, you got food. You're gonna eat them mice, boy. Get them. Get them, boy. Okay, we're gonna leave them alone. This is one of the baby owls. This is a baby barred owl. And I see that our big barred owl is back. It kind of depresses me. Terry says that when he gets out in the big cage, he won't eat. And that's maybe because he can't see the food that's down there. But they're going to look into that and see what they can do. But he used to just sit and let you do what he wants. Now he's up there and acting very skittish. And there he is. He's a handsome boy. He's a handsome boy. So what do you think of your roommates? Does that make you happy that you have friends now? Huh? Maybe they'll help you? Huh? Huh? Such a handsome boy. You just need to get up and get out. Yeah. You need to get up and get out. Such a handsome birdie. Two of you together, just gorgeous. Look at you two. Beautiful. You're beautiful. Beautiful. What's that dog? You hear that dog? Dogs ain't your friend. Okay. All right. I'll let you
the sounds coming from that poor little critter. Poor Flower had just had her nails cut. And Terry had to hold her so tight so that John wouldn't cut them too far down into the quick and she'd have sore nails and be bleeding. But Flower wanted nothing to do with that. She didn't want to be held or any of that stuff. And Miss Terry went ahead and put a collar on her to take her for a walk. And if she got used to it, of course, she would keep it on. Well, she did not want that collar on for anything. She got put back in her pen and she just quickly went at trying to get that thing off. Decided she was going to stop, get her a drink of water, and then get to work. And that's exactly what she did. Continued to scream and let everybody know that she was not happy, that this was not the way her day was supposed to go. And that was that. poor Flower had gotten herself all tangled up, and she was mad. I mean, she was trying to bite Terry and trying to get away from him, and she had her front paws up underneath that collar where she couldn't move her legs, and finally Terry had to take it off, and Flower just started doing her stomp to show that she was the queen.
And here we have more baby possums. There's 2 babies in there, and they're not that old. They're a couple of weeks old. So we're always got opossums. That's good though. I'm glad that they get to survive. Here, you can see it starting to move. Here comes somebody. Hi, buddy. Here comes one of the little white-eared opossums. Yeah. He says, "What's going on out here?" He likes to get out here and see what's going on. There's his brother or sister behind him. What's going on? What's going on? Who woke us up? Who woke us up? They're cute as a button. I think opossums are one of God's greatest creatures. Yep, there's number 3. Good morning. Good morning. They all have names. I have no idea what they are, and I know could I keep them straight anyway. There's at least 3 in there. One came down to get a drink. The other 2 are just wanting to know what's going on. They'll end up going back to bed here in a minute. And this is Rocky. Rocky is a 14-year-old raccoon who's blind, probably deaf. Yeah, and he's had his ears chewed off from fights and just everything in general. So we let him get his sleep. He enjoys sleeping. Oh, got an itch. Get him, boy. He finally just gets a chance to relax. Must be tough in the wild, knowing that there's all kinds of predators out there that want to do you harm and use you as a meal. I don't think he could relax when he couldn't see or he couldn't hear. But here at the Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary, he's safe, he's sound. He'll spend the remainder of his years here in the comfort of his own little cage. That's a good thing.
Well, that's about it from Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary this week. There's plenty of new animals and a lot of memories of those who are no longer with us. We got to witness a temper tantrum by a small female skunk, and Miss Terry just taking care of business. What great people there are at Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary, from the owners John and Terry down to the volunteers. They're just fantastic, great people. In all my years, the best people in the world are the people who love animals. So this is Al Vine saying, hey, if you get a chance, stop by Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary on County Road 445 in Coffee County. Say hello to John and Terry and to all the animals and all the volunteers. And if you'd like to help, just see John and Terry, and I'm sure they can put you to work. They do accept donations of food, lumber, whatever you can give, they're willing to take. It's expensive when these birds need to go to the vet and you have to feed them. We're getting more and more animals that may not be able to go back to the wild. So if you get the opportunity, please stop by and help. And we'll leave you with these pictures and until next week, when we get a chance to go back and check on all these birds and animals. And we want to wish John Morris a speedy recovery. And we'll see you here the next time at Big Bend Wildlife Sanctuary in the great outdoors.